Hare Krishna. We are living in this age of Kali Yuga, which is characterized by lack of faith and rebellious attitude. So because of lack of faith, there are so many upstarts, starting so many movements who present falsity as truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is an example that in the dark night, sometimes the twinkling stars claim to be supreme, but they have no ability to give light. Because at the time when the moon is hidden behind the dark clouds, the stars come forward and claim to be supreme. But sometimes the cloud moves aside and then the full moon shines in the sky, which is capable of giving light, which gives light for the passerby. That moment is like Lord Chaitanya's moment, Prabhupada says. Lord Chaitanya's moment has come to give light to the entire world, light of the wisdom of the Bhagavatam. And at that time, the twinkling stars will be exposed. They can only twinkle, but they cannot give any direction or light. So one very important aspect of spiritual life is to have a firm faith in Krishna's supremacy. You will see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said there are three gunas, tamaguna, rajaguna, and sattva. It's very obvious that out of the three, sattva is considered supreme. Out of the three. And tamaguna is characterized by nidra, alasya, pramad, such kind of things. Rajaguna is characterized by mental attachment, sangha, and trishna, thirst for honor. And sattva is characterized by sukham and jnanam, by happiness and knowledge. Sattva sanjayate jnanam, it is said. So anybody, any Sanatana follower, if you ask, they can easily tell you that out of the three gunas, sattva is considered superior. So other two. So when Bhrigumuni went in search of who is supreme, so when he returned back, he said there are three deities. The deity presiding the Tamaguna, Shiva, the deity presiding Rajaguna, Brahma, the deity presiding Sattva, Vishnu. Out of the three, he said the Sattva deity, Vishnu, was extremely tolerant and patient. Therefore, he concluded that the greatness of an individual is estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. And Lord Vishnu tolerated the most. So there is one verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which says, Mokshavo ghora rupan hitva bhutapati nata narayana kalashantan bhajantihi anasuyavaha. This verse says there are many deities worshipped by the common people like Kala Bhairava, Shmashana Bhairava, or Bhadrakali, Chandi, Chamundi, and such kinds of forms. They are called as Ghora Rupan. Like you've seen in Calcutta, Kali, how she looks like. Ferocious. So these forms are worshipped by certain type of people, sometimes offering flesh and wine and such kinds of things, because they are predominated by the Tamaguna. The devotees of Lord Vishnu, they never criticize such people, knowing well that they belong to a certain guna, and at least they are accepting a certain type of worship without being atheistic. So, anasuyavaha, the devotees are not envious of such people in different gunas, tamaguna, rajaguna, worshipping different devatas. They don't ridicule them or criticize them, knowing that eventually they will come to sattva and be able to relish the pure worship in sattva, offering vegetarian food with tulasi manjaris to the deities like Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan or Sitaram. The worship mode is very pure. The lifestyle of a devotee is clean, and the motivations and aspirations are very, very exalted. For example, even there are many Shiva worshippers who aspire for moksha. The highest aspiration one can have in the demigod worshippers is, you will find the Shiva worshippers have moksha. They call it as Muktinath, correct, no? They don't know anything beyond mukti. According to them, stopping the cycle of birth and death and attaining relief from it is the highest goal of life they can embark upon. There is nothing beyond that. Whereas you will find the deities of Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi, and Sitaram, The whole worship is centered around bhakti, bhava, prema, and seva. These kind of things. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never said, please give me mukti. He says, Mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatad bhaktir ahaitu kitvai. My dear Lord, I am not asking you for mukti or moksha. Give me birth after birth, opportunity to love you, serve you, be under your lotus feet. And I have no other aspiration. So, any devotee can understand when you study all the Vedic literature in totality, you will see that Sattva stands supreme. And in that Sattva also the three deities are called as the Purushottama, Narayan and Rama and Krishna. And Krishna is called as a Purna Purushottam. The word Purna means complete manifestation of Godhead, who manifested all the 64 qualities. And now there are so many organizations popping up. Yesterday I was seeing a video of some organization saying that the Paramatma is beyond Krishna also. Uttama Purushastu Anyaha Paramatmeti Udahrita. Like that. So he's saying, Krishna himself says, Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. There is another Uttama Purusha who is the heart of all living beings. But then in the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisam nivishto mattasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. He says, Sarvasya cha aham is saying. Who is the Paramatma in the heart of everybody? Me only, Krishna says. Then another verse also he says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. See, kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi is saying. Who is the second kshetrajna in this body? Paramatma or Krishna. Mam means what? Me. He says the jivas are one kshetrajna. And the second kshetrajna, Krishna says, is myself. It's not that there is somebody else standing there. And even if you say Vishnu is standing in the heart of every jiva, Vishnu is actually a partial, plenary expansion of Krishna. You will never hear in the Shastra that one Vishnu expanded into many Krishnas. You will never hear. But you can hear many pastimes of one Krishna expanding into many Vishnu forms. You can hear that, like you see in Brahma Vimohan Leela. One Krishna expanding into many Vishnu forms, he shows that. Or we also hear about, in the second canto, third chapter, we find Jagrihe Purusham. It begins with saying, the Lord has expanded as Mahavishnu, Garbhadaksha Vishnu, Kshiradaksha Vishnu, all that comes there. So, one should be very firmly fixed in the understanding that there is no one beyond Krishna to be aspired for. Krishna himself says, Mattah Parataram na anyat. Beyond me there is no one. Kinchitasti Dhananjaya. Mahi sarvam idam protam. Sutre maniganaiva. I am permeating everyone and everything. Now when Krishna says, I am the Supreme and there is no one beyond me, when he uses the word aham also, it's very deep aham. Why? Because, for example, Prabhupada said, when he says aham bija pradaha pita, the seed-giving father is not Krishna, Prabhupada said, it is Shiva. Why? Because the material bodies, for that mother and father is Shiva and Parvati. But the spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna. 15.7, he says, Mamai Vamsho, Jivaloke, Jiva Bhuta. Yes, that Amsha, we are part and parcel of Krishna. But this material body is a part and parcel of Shiva and Parvati. That is why the Linga is the union principle between male and female. The Shiva Linga which is worshipped. So the material bodily mother and father is Shiva and Parvati. Whereas the spiritual part and parcel Jiva is a part of whose part and parcel? Krishna. And in the heart of the Jiva resides love, which is a part and parcel of Radharani's love. Radharani has ocean of love. We have a drop of love. Similarly, Krishna has ocean of potencies. We have a small drop of potencies. So we are a part of Krishna and our love is part of Radharani's love. So one should be very, very clear about these philosophical points, because once you are clear that Krishna is the only Lord who is worthy of taking shelter, worthy of approaching, and there is no one besides him who is equal to him or greater than him. It's called as Asama Urdhva. Asama Avurdhva. There is no one equal and no one greater. So, and so many, so this organization which I am saying, they were speaking all these things. Finally, the Swamiji, the person who is at the top says, he is only God who has come in Kali Yuga to deliver everybody. He's an ordinary mortal made of flesh and bones like you and me. And finally, he says, after proving Krishna is not God, I am only God now. So many cheaters abound in Kali Yuga. So Prabhupada said, when the dark age of Kali Yuga sets in, so many twinkling stars are claiming to be light emitters. They're simply cheaters. So the moon like Lord Gauranga has appeared just 500 years ago to spread the light of wisdom and bliss in this age of Kali Yuga by spreading the chanting of the holy name, by especially teaching the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called as the Amalam Puranam or Paramahamsa Samhita. It is very dear to the heart of Vaishnavas because the Bhagavatam presents all the conclusions in this way. The topmost achievement of a sadhaka is to attain pure love for God, not caring for birth and death, not caring for the Trividha Tap. You don't worry about anything. All you worry about is, am I situated as a menial servant in the lotus feet of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas? Am I awakening love for God? There is no other consideration, no other criteria. So one should internalize these truths and facts in the heart and be firmly fixed in the Bhagavata Dharma and chanting of the holy name without any ambiguity, without any confusion of so many people proclaiming themselves to be self-made gods in this Kali Yuga. So many organizations popping up. And I get many letters from boys saying, Papaji, so-and-so Swamiji says this, he says that, and third fellow says something else. So your whole life you keep researching and suddenly death will come one day, you don't know where are you going. So you should be able to quickly learn to assimilate the ultimate truth in your heart. It's one as Radhaman Maharaj was telling, Ante Narayana Smriti doesn't mean that when you're 92 or 93-year-old, when you're about to die, okay, now I agree Narayana is supreme. He said, that's not Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante Narayana Smriti means, he said, within 3-4 years of studying the Vedic literature, one should come to a conclusion that, Krishna is supreme. Then after that, what? Then you do bhakti after that, very enthusiastically, like a small child having a firm faith in the mother. Like that, you can do enthusiastic bhakti once the truth is ascertained in your own heart. For example, you are going to Bombay, there are 2 roads, you don't know which road to take. Will you be able to travel fast? But once the person says, this is the road, then think of your speed of the car. So ascertain the truth in your heart and speed up your vehicle in that direction. Definitely we will attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Harinam Prabhu ki.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the devotees of the Lord who are like desire.